I think I have one more to show you, one more to present from you from 3 years ago, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty of this bankruptcy lawsuit and the impact it may have on selling the Coliseum.
It has been 5 years since Oakland passed a ban on storage and handling of the most polluting fossil fuel on the planet.
But KPIX5's Andrea Borba tells
the most polluting fossil fuel on the planet. Yes, it's dirty. And it's sitting in Utah. They're not digging any more up, I believe. I think there's a finite amount of coal sitting there. And we're going to probably end up having to use it in a wartime scenario or in a time of energy constraints. This isn't neutral reporting. The news is heavily biased. And I don't blame them. Environmentalism is an extremely important issue. Global warming, however you feel about it, it's changing our environment. You talk to wine producers, they're harvesting earlier than ever. We're changing a lot of things about our environment, and we're increasing the levels of toxicity in our oceans and in our air. And so this, not to make light of this issue, but I want to point out, Oakland signed this deal. Why did we sign it in the first place? The media never seems to want to ask that question. And then why when a no-coal deal was presented, did we not jump on that opportunity? Why did we feel the need to punish someone because they dared ship coal through Oakland, that they had to be completely removed from the city? There was an absolute war against Tagami and McClure. People were punished for even taking money from them or any of the coal developers. Although Oakland's Mayor Shin Thao did take money from JMB Partners, she may have gave back the money to Vikas Tandon, but she never gave back that max donation to the owner of JMB. Just for record, she took money from coal. Thao, you took money from coal. You took it, and we can prove it. Anybody who doubts me, say something about it. We'll prove it. Anyway, back to this video.
tells us in an original report, coal is back on the table tonight. Andrea.
Well, Kent and Juliet, the developer behind a proposed coal terminal to be built here on former Oakland Army Base land has not given up. 2 lawsuits and a bankruptcy later, he's teamed up with a new partner who is giving the city an ultimatum.
They could ship coal tomorrow, and they can ship it for the next 66 years.
Greg McConnell is the frontman for Vikas Tandon, a financier who has taken over plans for a proposed coal terminal next to the Port of Oakland. Activists have fought the project for years, leading the city to pass a no-coal ordinance. But last year, a federal judge overturned the coal ban in regards to the terminal, so talk of bringing coal to Oakland is back.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There are major investors who would purchase his rights to develop the moment the issue of getting permits was satisfied or clarified.
But McConnell says Tandon is ready to bargain. He could promise not to ship coal and export other commodities instead, if the city agrees to certain conditions. First and foremost, he wants the city to settle a lawsuit filed by the original developer over a lease for the land, then get a promise from the city to guarantee construction financing and reduce rent for the land.
Coal presents a certain level of revenue. No coal is significantly less. The question is, in terms of a settlement, how do we shrink the delta between the financial delta between no coal and close the gap?
He says Oakland has a lot to gain from Tandon's offer.
And the only way to assure that there is no coal in Oakland is to reach an agreement.
We shouldn't have to give something up to not be poisoned.
But activists are already lining up in opposition.
And he's trying to say that, okay, hey, I'm willing to not bring in coal, but y'all have to give me something in exchange. And that is a completely BS stance.
Isha Clark is co-founder of Youth versus Apocalypse, a youth-led climate justice organization.
Youth versus Apocalypse. These names. See, this is why progressives keep mopping the floor, at least they used to, with the pandering, because they're very creative with these names. Are you going to go again, Youth versus the Apocalypse? Do you want babies to die? God bless this young lady. Thank you for standing up for your community. I don't mean to say that in jest. She may or may not be being used by people, because we should have made this deal for no coal. And the consequences of it, we're going to talk about next. Not just the lawsuit from California Partner Group, but the lawsuit that may stop the sale of the Coliseum, that apparently we need to sell in order to tie a tourniquet around one of our limbs as to not die a financial death and go into bankruptcy in the very near future.
She points out coal trains already crisscross the Bay Area, delivering coal from Utah to a terminal in Richmond, putting fence-line communities along the way at risk. The proposed Oakland terminal will be capable of exporting almost 10 times more coal, up to 10 million tons annually.
We are saying that we don't want coal because no one should have to experience that. No one should have to breathe in the fumes from the coal dust that can cause asthma and strokes.
Here they are, uncovered again. Now, they are shipped uncovered to Richmond, just so you know. That Richmond, you see coal being shipped to Richmond all the time, and they don't cover it. They don't cover it. But they were going to cover it to ship it to Oakland, and we turned that opportunity down.
And lung cancer and all of these incredibly horrific health issues.
She says agreeing to the ultimatum is a bad idea. Other local activists think so too.
To me, I think this is extortion.
Margaret Rossoff and Ann Harvey are with the No Coal in Oakland campaign.
I think he's bluffing in order to extort money from the city.
But coal exports are...
Okay. They should have took the deal. We didn't take the deal. We did not take the deal. So now we're being sued. And a bankruptcy judge in Kentucky is allowing the company to actually go through the books. So we're going to go through this case right now. Okay, this one is about not the Sierra Club. Let me remove that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go through this first one real quick. This is Western States Bankruptcy Court in the Western District of Kentucky, Louisville Division, Insight Terminal Solutions versus the City of Oakland. They are moving for a Rule 2004 examination of the City of Oakland. Actually, I need to share with you what a 2004 examination is, so we're all on the same page. A Rule 2004 examination is a procedure in bankruptcy law that allows parties to examine a person or documents before an adversary proceeding is filed. It is similar to a deposition, but there are some differences. The purpose is to help parties assess the debtor's estate, find assets, and determine if there was wrongdoing. What asset are we looking at here? The stadium. Now you see why the lack of an appraisal is starting to come up in court in ways that could block the sale of the stadium. Yes, they have that power. A judge has the ability to block the sale of a stadium if they deem that Oakland is selling assets at extremely undervalued rates. And why would people be celebrating, liquidating our assets at a pittance? What paper play, what corruption is going on behind the scenes? Because anything Rebecca Kaplan and Thaya are involved in, these people are those slimy people. They're dirty, they're corrupt people. The A's got $25 million more than the City of Oakland for their half. That should raise questions. 25% more. Okay, what else is important about a Rule 2004 examination? You can look at anything. It is actually pretty much like a discovery. And this group will have the ability to pull back the curtain and look at Oakland's finances in ways that few people ever are able to. Big, big, big deal. Huge deal. Okay, now let's look at the case again. Hopefully you can read this. If not, I can't really make it bigger, but can I make it bigger? No, I think that's as big as I can make it. Yes, put it on a laptop or put the caption on. I'll do myself to orate exactly what it's saying here. Let me remove this little thing so you can see more. Okay, slide 1. They wanted a 2004 examination. Okay. This company basically went bankrupt. It's going through the bankruptcy procedure. And on 2004, they filed a proceeding against the city of Oakland, asserting that the claims against the city for monetary damages were caused by the city's interference with debtors' third-party contracts. Sorry about that. Look at my mouse here. I'm like moving my mouse around while I'm reading. Interference with debtors' third-party contracts pertaining to the construction of a proposed rail to ship terminal. The debtor asserts that the city's action caused the debtor's bankruptcy filing, and that its actions interfered with the debtor's third-party contract, resulting in monetary losses of no less than $1 billion. On April 22nd, 2024, they filed a ruling for a motion for Rule 2004 examination of the Sierra Club representative. Remember, the Sierra Club was heavily involved in the lobbying effort to block this call. The court granted all of these. Now let's look at the legal analysis. Analysts, because this is key. Under here, you see legal analysts. So they sought this Rule 2004 examination, and the scope of examination will be limited to the purpose of which to investigate the city's material transactions, such as the contemplated sale of the Oakland Coliseum. The debtor contends that the city's actions warrant investigation of questionable transactions to determine whether they may constitute avoidable post-petition financial transactions under Section 549A of the U.S. Bankruptcy Code. So let me break this down for you who are not used to reading legalese. They're saying Oakland's about to owe us a bunch of money because we lost the bankruptcy case. Here's how we're losing the bankruptcy case. The whole basis of the city's bankruptcy was they claimed that this company never had a legitimate lease. But the judge ruled that from here on out, everything related to the lawsuit from California Partner Group lease between them and the city of Oakland shall be deemed valid. What that means is that Oakland lost the most important part of its lawsuit. They failed to defend the fact that they illegally validated the lease. Remember, I told you, Libby signed this lease. And now that lease has to stand. So if the lease was legitimate, that means this company put all this money up and went bankrupt because Oakland illegally terminated a lease. It's going to cost us. If you don't hear it anywhere else, how many times do I have to have an I told you so? Now, granted, I am not an attorney, but it seems I have a better grasp at this than Ryan Richardson, which is why he does not need to be elected for city attorney. Barbara Parker must be on her deathbed. I don't know if she's conscious at the moment. I haven't heard a peep from her. But look at the damage she leaves as her legacy. Let's move on. The city of Oakland objected based on the fact that there was a pending adversary proceeding, and the city was never a creditor, and no claims were ever raised about a Chapter 11 case against the city of Oakland. Bad legal argument. Why? Because the judge ruled against it. I'm going to put this case, I'm going to link it. Anybody who wants the PDF, email me, reach out. I'll send it to you. I don't want to spend too much time going through this. I'm going to get to the decision so you see what the court said. So here's what the okay. There's a legal argument being made that the questionable and improper financial dealings warrant investigation. It sets forth that the actions regarding a possible sale of one of the city's biggest assets and the city's undivided 50% interest in the real property where the Oakland Coliseum is located. Because we did not get an appraisal and we don't know how much the Coliseum is worth, and we're getting so much less than the A's are getting, this group is likely going to be able to block the sale. Now you see why Shengdao wants to celebrate every single day about this, but ain't no money coming yet. And we may know why there is no money coming yet. Maybe people don't want to invest until they figure out what's going on here. And again, why are we selling this extremely important revenue producing asset without an appraisal? Okay. It says, for all the reasons above, the court will grant the motion of the reorganized debtor for a 2004 examination. That means the court agrees with the logic and the line of argument. James Lloyd, United States bankruptcy judge, dated August 26, 2024, about a week ago. Big news. Is there anything else in here that I missed? Let me see. Nope, I think that just about covers it. So there's also a similar proceedings I'm going to show. I'm not going to go through it, but just so you can see about the Sierra Club. And the Sierra Club also has been ordered to do a Rule 2004 examination. And so we're going to get to the bottom of the Sierra Club's, how are they involved with the sale of the Oakland Coliseum? Very interesting. Oh no, the Sierra Club is saying that they're not involved with the sale of the Coliseum and they should be left out of this process. But no, the draft contains 5 causes of action against the Sierra Club. I actually do want to read that. And the Utah chapter of the Sierra Club. So basically, the lawyer is saying that, no, we want to know what the Sierra Club's relation was with the city of Oakland. Was there any money exchanged hands? What was the conversation that led to such an extremely aggressive legal stance in which Oakland has been scorched earth ward, taxpayer dollars be damned, to not only stop coal in Oakland, but even after a no-coal deal was presented, stop any dealings with the city to uphold, and I'll say this again, a lease that we signed. Libby should have never signed this lease to begin with. Shame on you. And if you signed it, you honor your word and commitment, and you do what you said you're going to do. The 5 causes of action against the Sierra Club from the company going bankrupt. Number 1, tortious interference with a prospective economic advantage, aiding and abetting tortious interference with contract, aiding and abetting tortious interference with prospective economic advantage, including breach of contract and civil conspiracy. The draft complaint specifically alleges that the Sierra Club and others intentionally interfered with the debtor's efforts to obtain funding for the terminal, and that due to these efforts, the project cannot proceed. The debtor was unable to access the funds that had been appropriated for their plan as well as the project. Very interesting. The judge granted this too. Not as earth-shattering as granting a Section 2004 or Rule 2004 discovery process against the city, but still pretty big. So why the media silence as Oakland's selling a revenue-producing asset to produce bankruptcy? And why the media silence around the implication of this bankruptcy case, which no one seems to be covering with the exception of the Mercury News, and Shomik the Shield is actually covering this, or halfway covering it at least. He doesn't seem to have any sense of urgency to make the connection that this may block the Coliseum sale. He doesn't go that far, but at least is trying to keep us halfway informed in the way that he presents his controlled opposition and propaganda. But largely media silence. And if this still falls through, remember, we are going to have to significantly cut public safety. We haven't got the money yet. What is going on? And I'll end it with this. What happens if Oakland goes bankrupt? Which I truly believe we're right on the edge of. Really quick, the most important thing that happens if Oakland goes bankrupt is that we are no longer in charge of our own financial destiny. Our debt will be divided up into people who hold it. A committee is formed of the debtors in order of operation of who is owed the most money. Now, who is owed the most money? Our bondholders. Who represents the bondholders? Wall Street. Then you have people who have structured debt owed, like the people in this lawsuit who maybe end up being owed $700 million from the city of Oakland as a result of breaking this lease. They're in the decision-making process too. And then so on down to who's owed money from the city of Oakland. This group will make a recommendation to an administrative law judge, and that judge will rule on whether or not to accept this bankruptcy case. It guts all the public sector unions' contract. It will eliminate the medical retiree benefit for our police officers. Without medical retiree benefits for police officers, you can expect to see an exodus of our most experienced and highly trained officers, because that is an absolutely unacceptable proposition for anyone who can get another job anywhere else. It also means that whoever the next mayor is, after we recall this failed mayor Shing Thao, would not be able to really do anything because they're going to be at the mercy of Wall Street. Wall Street owns Oakland if we go bankrupt. If you don't want to see hedge fund bros and Wall Street making decisions on how much schools get, how much parks get, what do we spend our taxpayer money on, you need to work with me here. Work with me. Recall the mayor. Work with these people who own these companies that we have done significant harm to, who still, by the grace of God, are willing to make a deal with Oakland. I don't know about the bankruptcy case, but at least California partner groups. And stop the sale of the stadium. We should not be selling a revenue-producing asset as a tourniquet for a one-time, short-term solution for our financial problems. We need long-term structural solutions. We need to go through a soft bankruptcy process, similar to how we did. Remember the episode with Oakland go bankrupt on Gotham Oakland? I walked you through exactly what we did, and I'll link it in this episode here so you can go watch it. What we did to get out of debt under then Mayor Jean Quan. Mayor Thao will not do it. So whoever in city council is the interim mayor, or whatever goes on, whoever's in charge between now and the special election, because we do not have until a special election to fix this. We have to fix this now or we're risking bankruptcy this year. This is not a drill, people. Not at all. But what this is Gotham Oakland. And I love you. God bless you. This is Seneca. Peace. I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Oh, there go my balloons. I love it. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you back here next time.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.